Okay guys, so feel free to check the description for where you can find your own mob armor to make your tripod. I'll do another video pretty soon on how I have this set up in all my vehicles and how awesome I think it is. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, so today what we're looking at is the Mob Armor Mobnetic Pro 90. This is what I use in all my cars because most of my cars are old and have steel dashes. This has a magnetic base and it pivots a full 90 degrees to hold your cell phones and things like that. What we're going to do with this is we're going to take this and we're going to combine it with a tripod so that you can do YouTube videos, take family pictures, all those different things you want to do with your camera that you can't right now, and really give you a stable picture. We'll get to that in a little bit. First, we're going to open this guy up and see what's in the box. Okay, so we'll start with the actual unit. Magnetic on one end, magnetic on the other end. It's got a ball joint and it goes a full 90 degrees. So this will pivot any direction you want, and where the slot is, you can go a full 90 degrees if you have it on the top of your dash and you want it to hold your phone that way. Now, when I bought my first one, you can see my table's magnetic. It's pretty strong. There's even a drop cloth here, and it's holding it pretty solid. The salesman, when I bought it at the car show, the first one I got, said that with the boot on, the rubber boot, that's to protect your paint and things like that. With the rubber boot, the magnetic will hold it like 30 pounds. Without the boot, it says 50 pounds. I'm going to say that's pretty good. We actually got a plate of steel so we can kind of test it. You can hear how it grabs. It does pretty well. So we won't do that again because I don't want to fight it anymore. It's also the ball joint is very stiff. So however you want to set it up in your car, or for what we're doing today on the tripod, it's going to do a pretty solid job. So that's the unit itself. We can put the boot right back on. And now it's going to be a little softer and not scratch things. It also comes with some steel plates. These steel plates are, they have 3M adhesive. So you'll put this, like, let's say you got a plastic dash and you need your base on your dash. You'll put this on your dash. And it's got a pretty good look to it. It's not a problem. Now the thinner ones, also 3M, these are what will go to the back of your phone. And so you'll have this on the back of your phone, and that's what's actually going to hold it where you want it. And it looks like we got 2 sets for each, so that's pretty cool. Set these to the side. And we have one other thing that we're looking at, and this is a universal kit. I got this also because it gives you a lot of different sizes. And depending on the case you have, your case may only give you enough room for a small plate of steel. Now it's going to do the same thing. If I stick it to that, I'm not going to be able to take it off. So I'm not going to do that. Although you guys might laugh if I do it and try and get it off. Might be good filming, I guess. But we can also get this on the same website. So the first thing we're going to do, we got this tripod. We've actually seen them at yard sales for like $1. These are what people used to use for their cameras back when cameras were 500 pounds. They're aluminum, they're super light, and nowadays they're actually very cheap. They even have a crank so you can elevate it after you go your 3 stages. So, I mean, they'll get to a good 8 foot, and they're super stable. So, our plan is to take this and make... see, we did it. Dang it. Okay, we're going to get those away from our magnet. Okay, we're going to take this base and we're going to make it stick to our tripod. These tripods are mostly made of aluminum, like a pot metal, not enough steel in it for the magnetic base to adhere. So we gotta put a magnetic base. What I chose to use for this tripod is a piece of 1.5 by 1.5 steel tubing. And I use this because you can get it at any Home Depot, any Lowe's, and if you've got a good Lowe's or Home Depot, they'll even cut it to size for you. I think we went about 2.5 inches or 3.5 inches. So, no, we went an even 3 inches, and that had to do with our base here. We just wanted a little bit of coverage. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out where to put our hole, because we need to bolt this plate to this mount. So I took a 1/4 inch bolt right here, 1/4 inch bolt and nut, and the slotted edge, it fits right there. It doesn't fit through the entire slot, so you got to make sure you know where you're going to bolt it. And when I bolt it down, I want it to be even on my tripod base. So what we're going to do is just measure what we've got here. We've got an even 2.5, and we know that we need to be 1 inch in. So we're just going to do a rough. We're going to put that dang magnet. We're going to put a hole 1 inch in on our base, and that'll give us a good center. It's not rocket science. We're just making a tripod. So you'll need your center punch. Put it at 1 inch. And now we're going to take it to the drill. Stop it. Okay, so we're going to drill our hole, and I always like to do a pilot hole, so I'm doing the pilot hole at 1/8 inch. Now we're using a 1/4 inch bolt, so we are going to have to drill it out to 1/4 inch, but we'll start with a smaller bit. We're going to use an 1/8 inch bit. Let's tighten our vise. And now we'll just switch out our bit. We got our 1/4 inch bit. We're using the Milwaukee, and we're using a Ryobi driver. I like these drivers. They work good for smaller stuff. If you get to the bigger drill bits, you're not going to want to actually use that for the bigger drill bits. I'd say stay under 1/2 inch. But now our hole is drilled. We're going to make sure that our bolt fits nicely, which it does. So we're good there. And now we'll go put it on our tripod. Okay, so we got our hole drilled. Now we're back over at our tripod. We're going to put it on here. Got our 1/4 inch bolt and nut. We actually have a lock washer. You can use a nylock or something. You want it to stay tight. So it's essentially just put it together and bolt it. It's not very complicated. Because we're using tubing, we do have to thread it inside, which is always a task. The nice thing about the tubing is it gives it just a little bit of height, because I don't know if you're filming with your tablet or just a regular phone. Some of the phones are pretty large these days. You might want a little bit of height on your base just to give you more room. 1/4 inch just takes 7/16 wrenches, so we'll lock this guy down. And we'll have a tripod. Okay, so with the tripod done, our base is going to lock on pretty solid. So we're good there. We'll kick that to the side. Now we got to get our phone ready. So here, if you're just using a phone for your filming, this is just a G4, so we're going to put one of our plates on it. Now, like I said, these plates are a little big, bulky. May not want to use it. On this particular phone, these larger plates are flat, and they don't take the curve of the phone well. So part of our other kit had these little guys, and they fit very well. So what we're going to do is put one of these on it. Now, the Mob 90 kit came with an alcohol wipe, which you can get anywhere, but we're going to use theirs so we can clean the phone and get a nice adhesion. Might help if you can open a package. This phone's been in a shop for a while too, so we're going to spend a second getting all the grease off. Okay, we're going to let that dry, and we'll get the 3M off. Seems pretty good. Okay, now we're placed on the back of the phone. It actually sticks pretty quickly, so we can take our base. You can set your angle. Don't really want the darn thing to turn on for us though. There you go. And it holds pretty well. So if you're taking pictures, things like that, it'll work. Okay, now let's set up our tripod. Our tripod, let's open it up. See how it looks with a phone on it. Okay. We'll put our phone on now. We put our plate on it. Now we can, wow, man, it's tight as heck. You can set it whichever way you need to set it for your camera. It also has an elevation feature. Now that's going to be specific to the tripod that you find, but this one's pretty cool. We can set our angle, and it locks down. Everything works pretty nice. And when you're doing your videos, everything's solid. So, all you need is the Mob Armor 90 and a few tools.